Alright, welcome back to I Got a Cheat Skill in the World, and I became Unraveled in the Real World 2 Anime Review, episode number 4. We're reviewing episodes 8 and 9 for the series. Yep. So we have a good amount of stuff happening here. So, last episode had Lexia go in and meet up with, of course, Yuta, who does it a little bit later, don't worry about that. So, basically, we pick up, but by the way, also 8 is the last episode we have from book number 2. Yes, this was the last one. And episode 9, which is the episode I'm talking about here, that starts up the brief adaptation that was basically book 3. You're like, really? Yeah, really. I'm like, huh, interesting. So, after the cut finished from the last episode, they, of course, basically decide who's going to be, of course, and, of course, we also have Reen and, I think his name is Aki, the blonde hair guy, where they find this up, and, of course, Yuta basically tucks away the poisonous mushrooms, and they show off their teacher, which, of course, she basically does a good job. And then, of course, who's going to cook? Yuta, of course. And Yuta prepares all the food, and they have no reaction yet. And then here comes their beautiful teacher, little material teachers, and she tries the food too, and they all find it delicious. So she's like, "Hey Yuta, why don't you marry me?" I'm like, wow. That's the second one was proposed to him in the show. First it's Lexia, now it's his hot teacher. I'm like, damn. Now this is interesting. This is actually the second anime I've come across where, get this, his own teacher where you have the main character's teacher falling for the main character. The only series I've seen this happen in is of Freya. Though in the case of that one, she's shorter than Hajime. This one, she's a little bit taller. Yeah, she's older. Plus, different hair color. Her hair is purple. But she's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I'm like, Yuta, you lucky bastard. And Mew's like, basically trying to pull him away because... Actually, it's Kaede. Mew's the model. Kaede's trying to pull him away, and of course, then at one point, Reen's like, let's bury his face in her chest. And Reen's like, did you sing Sense Paradise? Yeah, that's all the river Strix. And then the very next day, they wake up like, oh crap, thing has been attacked. And then freaking bear shows up. Yes, a bear. Everyone's running. And then of course, his teacher falls over, and of course he protects her by basically wrestling a freaking bear. Even at one point, it seems like he gives almost like a German basically gives a belly-to-belly suplex. Yeah, and that apparently stops him. And here comes basically Kawi, who basically informs, hi, this bear is not our property, we won't have to worry about the police about this. And of course the teacher's like, I'll be waiting. Because, well, still technically the teacher, until he graduates. Once he graduates, he's all hers. Oh, okay, and then of course he goes back. By the way, during this he actually briefly goes back to his house, feeds night, comes back, and then right after this, well, then comes Golden Week. It's a Japanese. It's basically kind of like spring break. So he basically goes fantasy world, kills the monsters. Here comes Lexia. Of course, he kind of suspects she was coming, and then all of a sudden, like, meets up with her, and then, of course, basically, then Night tackles her. Yes, this little dog, who is a Fenrir, of course, I know it's Fenrir, and they tackle her, and, of course, he discovers who set the trap. It was Luna. And then, of course, he picks her up, and, of course, Lexia wants some of the heck's going, so basically, they race to his house. Heck, they even teleport to his house. And Luna's like, that magic is a legend. How the heck do you know that magic? I created it. And of course, also, she does, of course, Luna expands her backstory. She grew up in a poor district, like she had to steal food from garbage, and then she was raised by a trained killer who turns to be part of the Dark Guild. The way they described them, it's like this world's version of the Yakuza. Except the Yakuza tend to be very cool and suave, despite the fact that way they dress is why they can lose their fingers if they fail. Yes, seriously. I've heard about the Qs. Basically, they're lucky if they have actual fingers, because every time they fail an assignment, they get their fingers chopped off. They're lucky if you come across one actually has a full hand of fingers. Yeah, and then of course, because this failed assassination attempt, Lexia's like, I'm hiring you as my bodyguard. Yes. At first, basically, she declines, but then, of course, basically, she does. And the first order of business, call her Lexia. And, of course, mention, oh, yeah, about Yuda's back because her hand's so smooth. And it's like, Yuda, what's his hair about that? Because mention, oh, yeah, baby, crystal deer. And, of course, you have these two share a bath together, where she instantly figures out that Luna's in love with Yuda. Which, of course, basically causes these two Claire to be rivals for his love. And then, of course, they sleep in the same bed together. And then the very next day, Owen's basically having a freaking heart attack, trying to look for Lexia, because she keeps running off. And he has to go back because, well, school came up. So then, before they leave, Luna runs back, gives Yuda a kiss in the cheek. I'm like, you lucky bastard to get this beautiful woman to give you a kiss on the cheek. And then he races off. And then he goes back to school, where then, of course, Lexia tells him, oh, tell the character I want to kiss him too. She probably will soon, don't worry about that. Then he goes back to school, where it's a contest. Basically, it's a sports competition, where we have various different contests. First was soccer, of course, he's the goalie. And, of course, you have Kaede on the sidelines with Reen, which, in order to get motivation, she's like, oh, yeah, jump up and down. And then she proceeds to grope her. Yes, I forgot to mention she groped her basically the other place. Yeah, she groped her, mainly because basically she just likes doing it, because she gropes any woman who's got a big breast. And it's a good thing Kaede doesn't have big breasts. The breasts are small, of course. Well, it's kind of funny. Okay, I find this hilarious. I'm sure women in real life probably don't like this very much at all, but I find this funny in anime. So, oh yeah, and of course Yuta basically catches the soccer ball because thinks that, oh, the blonde hair guy gets motivation. He catches it and throws it all the way down the field. Goal! And then, of course, the next competition is ping pong. And, of course, basically, the Singo basically wins that. Rock, paper, scissors, and, well, ping pong is next. It's a bunch of sports. But overall, really good here. I love these two episodes. They're awesome. Was there anything else? Oh, yeah, at the end of episode 9, the manager of the Star Productions talent agency shows up to Yuta's school. Well, we'll find about this next episode. Yep. But love this series so far. This series is awesome. I love it. Like every time I basically see the girls and I talk about Yuta, I'm like, I am smiling ear to ear because I am enjoying this, because I love stuff like this for anime. And it's been a little bit of time since I count an anime like this. Like, what was that last anime I come across that for this year? Where basically I just couldn't stop smiling. Or I kept telling the screen, telling the main character, even though the character can hear me, like, call him a lucky bastard. Like, what was the last series basically I did this for? Well, the Unwanted Adventure, definitely. Not many series of this for, like, this happened with, I would say Haunted, but he's been believes the feelings. The first one this year was Why There's No Memory in This World. Yeah, definitely. Not many anime come across this year are harem-based. The only ones this year are harem-based anime have been Why There's No Memory in This World. I left my rank partner on Force and Support Dungeon Devs. Even Worthless Appraiser class, I'm actually the strongest. Let's see. The Daily Life Middle Age Online Shopper. I'm the Breaker Rooms about Master Magic. The Brilliant Heroes in Life in the Shadows. The other LTR Masters. This guy's got like 3 women in love, including the Conscious Princess, which apparently he was so oblivious to the fact she was actually topless. Black Summoner. Let's see. American Strongest, yes, a couple people in love with him. Beginning after the end, I think like 2 people confirmed in love with him, but he's not at this point. But yeah, I love. This is just so fun. Yep. And there's technically going to be about 2 more anime. Hopefully, I get a chance to work on before I get back to watching Ninja. I will review what they are later, but one is basically I've been wanting to do for some time, especially I'm recommending some people to try it out. The other one is an anime no one would probably expect me to watch, but I'm going to watch anyways, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, more of this, okay? Next video, bye.